together for our senior showman out here. Here's one thing for the showmanship classes that are about to come out here. One thing that I'm really looking for when you come out of the pens is that you have a flow to how you drive your hogs. So what that is kind of towards me, you drive them away to 3/4 view, or you give me a side view and then you drive me at a 3/4 view, and then you just kind of continue that cycle throughout the whole showmanship process. And as soon as you give me those looks when you come out of your pen, you go ahead and you kind of take your hog out of sight from me, just back behind. So just keep that in mind. I want you guys to try to keep that flow all throughout the day, market or breeding or showmanship. So just kind of have that method as you go out to drive your hogs, and really work on that as you're working with your hogs at home as well. So with that being said, there are a couple showmen out here that I think are doing a great job in terms of having control of their hog at all times, being able to kind of take that hog wherever they want, but still having quite a knowledge about the project. With that being said, I'm going to shake the hand of your group, followed by your reserve.
Winner senior swine showmanship this morning. Receiving a red ribbon is Donna Butacoper. Receiving a blue ribbon is Caitlin Atkins. Your reserve champion for the class was awarded to Tierra Witness. And congratulations to our grand champion, senior hog showman, with the opportunity to compete in round robin later today, Britton Van Gorder. We'll move on to our junior swine showmanship, and we're going to have 2 flights for juniors. In the first flight, we have Van Gorder, Kaylee Olson, Lila Butico, Rowan Wilson, Sam Buford, Reed Wynn, and Caden Boyd.
All right, as we come into our first round of juniors here, I'm going to go ahead and keep these two showmen back for our championship drive. That's not going to take away from these showmen left out here. Just a couple little things. I'm really picky on how much control you have over your hogs and really being able to keep them out of the corners at all times, being able to get them to drive wherever you want and still have a pattern to how you drive those hogs. That's extremely important, especially when you start developing knowledge of what their best qualities are and what their worst qualities are, and making sure the judge can see each one of those and be able to what you don't like so much. Another thing to keep in mind is be very thorough in how you answer basic feeding questions. The feeding program in any form of livestock is extremely, extremely important. So just be really thorough and understand the knowledge behind it, like the percentage of protein, percentage of fat, what that does in the development stages for those animals. So once you're able to get that knowledge foundation down, you'll really be able to hype up your game when it comes to feeding livestock, whether it's just for commercial or for show or regular production. It doesn't matter, but just be able to really have some thorough knowledge of that. Anyway, let's go ahead and put our hands together for these shows, and we'll go to our next heat.
So in our first class of junior swine showmanship this morning, receiving red ribbons were Lila Butikofer and Rowan Wilson. Our blue ribbon recipients were Samuel Butikofer, Reed Wynn, and Caden Boyd. And our two callbacks out of that class for the final drive were Clayton Van Gorder and Kaylee Olson. As we move on to our second class of juniors this morning, the participants that we're going to see are Sally Berwick, Carter Wynn, Roger Butikofer, Charles Butikofer, Lily Johnson, Elsie Wilson, and Cody Olson.
Is the camera out there?
Mm-hmm.
Sound?
I think so.
You know?
Yes.
All right, let's put our hands together for our second eat here. We'll go ahead and bring out a couple more showmen into our final drive, and we'll make that pretty quick so these hogs don't get super hot. Just one thing to keep in mind is being able to have that pattern when you're driving your hogs. We do a little bit better on our feeding clips than this time around, which is always nice to hear. But one thing is just a lot of work at home. Hogs take a lot of time to get into shape just when it comes to driving, especially when you're trying to get their heads up. That's not really a natural position for them, so that takes a lot of extra time at home to make sure that they're comfortable and able to go for quite a few minutes at a time. So if I were to just suggest anything is just get those hogs out walking with the stick 3 to 4 times a week, making sure it is timed out too so that they're comfortable when it comes to time with staying cool and just being able to be in shape. These animals are kind of like athletes, and making sure that they are comfortable enough to be out here and perform the best that they can. With that being said, let's go ahead and put our hands together and move on to our final drive here.
So in our second class of junior swine showmanship this morning, receiving red ribbons were Charles Budicofer and Elsie Wilson. Blue ribbon winners in that class were Carter Wynn, Roger Budicofer, and Cody Olson. And our 2 callbacks from that class were Lily Johnson and Tally Berwick. They will be joined by our callbacks from our first flight, Clayton Van Gorder and Kaylee Olson.
There's no pizza there.
Bro, stop.
1, 2, 3. Thank you for listening. Milo.
All right, let's put our hands together for our final junior drive here. We've got 4 competitive showmen out here that are all doing a great job. I already went and discussed with them individually what I like and what I suggest for them in the future. So we won't keep them out here and get hot any longer. But one thing just to keep in mind, especially for you younger showmen, really when you're at home driving in a pattern, I cannot hit that home hard enough. It is so crucial and so important when it comes to showing hogs, because there's a lot of different things that you can do with that pattern. And there is a strategy to letting them rest to make sure that it's consistent and actually beneficial for your animal, but beneficial to you as a showman. So if you guys want any tips on that, I can provide that at a later time. I won't go ahead and waste your time with that. But with that being said, I've kind of made up my mind here, so I'm going to go ahead and shake the hand of your grand. I do think individuals do a good job of making sure their animal is consistently moving at a good pace. They have excellent control, making sure that they've got a pattern down and still letting this animal be relaxed and natural in the way that they move around the ring. So once again, let's put our hands together. We'll shake the hand of your grand, followed by your reserve.
Congratulations to all of our exhibitors in junior hog showmanship this morning. Special congratulations to our reserve champion in the class, Kaylee Olson. And let's get a round of applause for our grand champion, junior swine showman, Clayton Van Gorder. To round out our showmanship this morning, our next class we're going to bring out are our beginners. We've got 5 exhibitors in that category: Tenley Berwick, Holden Salivar, Allie Johnson, Sienna Martinez, and Jody Albus.
Yeah.
All the extra things here to put a lean to off the end here for adult beef to sit right there.
I'm sad that you're not showing.
Good job.
All right, let's put our hands together for our beginners here. We've got a couple extremely competitive showmen out here, so kind of if they keep up that intensity throughout the years, they'll be extremely competitive no matter where they go. And if that's the case, if you ever have the opportunity to do any other shows or any bigger shows, I would highly recommend that. If it's within your means and feasible for you guys, definitely give that a try, because that's something that can really boost your confidence, and that's actually where you learn the most, is by getting out of your comfort zone and going to those different shows as much as possible. But with that being said, there's two showmen out here that do a great job of making sure that they've got their hogs driving with their head up. They have great control over their hogs. Their body positioning is probably the best that we've seen all day out of all showmen. So just kind of keep that in mind if you guys are older showmen. But along with that, just some basic things to improve on. Just kind of work on with your eye contact. Eye contact is really important in hog showmanship. Just be aware of where I'm at so that you get the correct body positioning and that you can get your hog driving exactly where they need to be while keeping proper distancing from your judge. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and shake the hand of your grand, followed by your reserve.
In our class of beginner swine showmanship this year, receiving red ribbons were Tenley Berwick and Jody Albus. Our blue ribbon recipient in that class was Allie Johnson. Our reserve champion 20 goes to Sienna Martinez. And congratulations to our grand champion in the class, Holden Salivar. As we finish up moving our hogs out of the arena, we'll move to our market show. Again, these are broken into classes based on weights, and so there may not be an equal number of hogs in each class. Our first class is going to be our lightest weight hogs, our lightest weight market hogs. In that class, we have Caitlin Atkins, Sienna Martinez, Tally, and Roger Butekofer.
I don't know whose it is, but
Must be Angela.
yeah, keep it over there. Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's put our hands together. First market class out here. We're going to bring back this young lady's gilt right here in front of me. Here's a really stout featured type of a gift that offers a tremendous amount of true shape and dimension up over the top side of the tin. And she's just flexible enough out of that. Maybe just for me, if this one drives towards me, I'd like to see her squirt knee to ground. She wants to kind of crash in at that knee. And make her up on her front end, make her just a notch more heads up and up, a notch more extension as she gets out on the drive. But still nice, heavy, powerful. So just go ahead and start us off. Coming next, we'll take a look at the ladies here in front of me. Here's one lady structures. Well, there's a good step stability out of a third of her skeleton. Just for me, here's what I would like to see just be soft shoulder in terms of her center cage. See her be soft into that rear rib instead. And as this one gets on the go, it doesn't quite enjoy the amount of sensitivity that I got to see out of her hip, right? She still breathes with plenty fresh shape and dimension up high. We just like to hear a bit soft shoulder coming and going. Will be the I will the skeletal builder. She offers a lot of length and extension out of that front one third. She's extremely flexible about her spine and is able to plant and push with a tremendous amount of power off of those hind two. Just for me, here's one that doesn't breathe with enough width and dimension going. And here's one that I'd like to blow her out in terms of her center cage and just add more true mass and dimension to her. And then rounding out of our class today will be this young lady's predominantly black build. Here's one that we really like, the flexibility. She's a really long body, lean, neat type of a gift that definitely has the cutability advantage of the set. Just for me, here's one that we'd like to see be pulled apart in terms of her blade. I definitely would like to see her go with more power as she drives away. So let's go put our hands together for these individuals. So we'll do. All right, so.
In our lightweight market class, this receiving a red ribbon is Caitlin Atkins. Our blue ribbon exhibitors in that class were Sienna Martinez and Roger Beauticulper. And we had one callback out of the first group. That pig belongs to Callie Bullitt. Let's give her a hand. Our second class this morning will include Jody Albus, Lily Johnson, Henley Bullock, Allie Johnson, Cody Olson, Donna Beauticulper, Samuel Beauticulper, and Holden Salabar.
Together for our second class market holds today. And let's go ahead and see this class. I'll just pop those three in the young she's not in quite yet, but that's all right. One thing that I really like to point out about this dog is not only is he extremely stout featured, he's still a really up-headed, flexible type of a barrel that offers plenty of flex and reach off that front end. Still goes with a lot behind it. Just for me, I like to see him drop down square and truer to the base of his rib, right in his forward area there. And I'd also like to touch him up so slightly as he's beginning to chine up. It's a little early in the game for him to be able to start to chine up. But other than that, but he's still a really nice, powerful type of a hog to go ahead and bring back. The young man's brook barrel over here, this is one that we really appreciate for the natural mass and dimension that he has to offer. Here's one that's just a step-based barrel, coming and going, offers plenty of mass and dimension no matter where you take a look at him. This may be for me one that I'd like to relax him in his spine, see him just a notch more up-headed, and see him be a bit taller shouldered. And as he gets on the drive, as he goes away from us, I'd like to see him go with just a little bit more flex and comfort out of that hip and hind leg as he's around ever so slightly. And then the young man's painted up barrel here is one that we really appreciate for the amount of mass that he has. Coming towards me, here's a stout featured type of a barrel that's really pulled apart. And he still reads with plenty of mass and dimension about his center cage, and that built foundation for him to just lay so much power and dimension up high and watch him easily go with so much more power and dimension than his contenders in this class. As for the left in this drive here, that's nothing to take away from him, just maybe not quite as flexible on the gut. Skeletal issues come to mind, but other than that, there's plenty of mass and dimension. The young lady's white-footed barrel here, one that we really love is topside shape and the amount of boldness on its cage. Just for me, here's one that needs to be more flexible off that front end. I definitely like to see him step down, squirt his front toes, and see him come with more true width and dimension right there at the ground, but still a really powerful hog. He just needs to be relaxed in his joint work right there at the ground. The young lady's red sandy colored barrel here, one that we really like the length and extension and freshness that this one has to offer. Just for me, it's a bit more plain in general in his rib shape and dimension. And when we step around behind him, he just isn't quite as powerful. I like to roll him out in that pin set, just come and go with more true width and dimension. And then the where are we at? The young lady's white barrel over here, one that's just kind of comes basics of a market animal and having some length and dimension to him. Just one here, just a bit more plain in his general makeup. He wants it to the base of his rib. He isn't quite as fresh in his shape over the upside skeleton. So I think if we fix those aspects, maybe look at moving him just a little bit higher. And then the young man's Duroc barrel here, one that definitely upholds the Duroc characteristics of being a big, stout, and rugged in his build. He still has plenty of width and dimension all the way throughout. Just maybe one for me, we need to relax him in his spine, up in his top side shape, and see him come and go with more correct hip and hind leg posture. And then the young lady's belted barrel here, one that we like for his mass and dimension coming and going, but that we'd like be stronger pattern and just go with more true flex and ease throughout his skeletal up there. But that, let's go ahead and give these guys a round of applause, and we'll be bringing 3 more out of this class to our final drive. All right.
In our middleweight class of our market hogs this morning, receiving a red ribbon was Donna Butikofer. Our blue ribbon hogs out of that class belong to Samuel Butikofer, Tenley Berwick, Lily Johnson, and Jody Elvis. And our 3 callback hogs out of that class that are going to join us for our final drive belong to Allie Johnson, Cody Olson, and Holden Salabar. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, As we get ready to bring our heavyweight hogs out, in that class we have 6 exhibitors. Charles Butikofer, Lila Butikofer, Tierra Witness, Rowan Wilson, Kaylee Olson, and Elsie Wilson.
Put our hands together for our heavyweight hogs here. We'll go bring two back out of this class. The young man's red Duroc barrel here is one that we really like for that added stoutness and durability that he offers right there at the ground. This one still reads with plenty of true shape and dimension up high, down fairly square to the base of his rib. One thing that we definitely would like to see is we want to pull this one's pin, see him go just a notch square as he wants to pull in his hock as he's dropping away, but still a really nice, fresh, heavy muscle type of a hog to come out of this class. The young spotted barrel that we'll go ahead and bring next is one that we really appreciate for extension. He's really a tall, shouldered up type of a barrel. Still offers plenty of true shape and dimension up high. Drops down really square and true to the base of his rib, and still goes plenty square no matter where you take a look at him. The belted barrel over here. Here's what truly the freshness that this one offers up over the top side of the skeleton and right out of her hip there. Just for me, while driving at me, she wants to get a little softer on those front pads. Maybe doesn't go with quite flex and reach off of that front end. And here's one that has from me. I think I'd like to see her set that for comfort and flexibility in her hock and her lower joints. But other than that, this one offers a tremendous amount of power. We just really see this one have some added flexibility. Ladies, blue-eyed hog here, one that we really, for the amount of mass and dimension that this one offers all the way through. Here's a structural blade of a hog that reads with some amount of shape and dimension up high, or maybe that needs to be freshened up, like to tighten into his jowl, actually in through the seat of his hand. I also like to see him drop down square or to the base of his rib. The young man's white barrel out here in front of me, here's just a bodied heavyweight type that still offers plenty of mass and thickness. Just one that I wish was a bit more today. Gets plainer about his center cage there, and one that just needs to pick up his head, go leveling out of his hip, and just be more expressive whether we take a look at him coming or going. And then the young lady's barrel, or the Duroc barrel over here, one that is extremely stout featured, gold-bladed, offers a tremendous amount of shape up high, but with that, there's also a coarser pointed type of barrel that needs to drop on square and through his forehead. I'd like to see him just be blown apart in his center cage to match that added shape and dimension that he has to offer up high. With that being said, we'll go ahead and dismiss these individuals, then we'll move on to our final drive.
So in the last market hog class before our final drive, receiving red ribbons were Lila Butikofer and Roland Wilson. Our blue ribbon hogs in that class were brought by Elsie Wilson and Tierra Witness. And we had two callbacks out of our heavyweight hog class. Those were Kaylee Olson and Charles Butikofer. Let's give them a round of applause.
One of your callbacks will be coming out into the store because he was.
They will be joined by our earlier callbacks, Holden Salivar, Cody Olson, Allie Johnson, and Allie Berwick.
And Sally's on the other end? And Sally's on the other end.
Okay, let's put our hands together for our grand drive out here. All right, so there's quite a few just kind of surface to the top, especially as we get them out all together out here. So we're going to describe each one briefly here. The young ladies built a bit on the fence. One that we really like from a skeletal perspective. Here's a stout-featured, extremely square-built hog that offers a tremendous amount of flex and reach off its front end. It's still a tall-shouldered type of build that's extremely square in its rib shape and dimension, and still built power and shape as he drives away. Just for me, here's one that I would definitely like to see be softer back into his rear rib and flank. One that I'd like to see be just a notch fresher today. He's beginning to chine up, but still a really nice, well-built barrel to fit out here in our grand drive. Needs to be up here is one that we appreciate. Massive mention that this one has to offer. He's just really square and built, basic build, couple animal basics. Just for me, he's not quite as fresh as his contenders as we get him out here. That kind of goes along with his added weight. And what I'd like to see just be a notch squarer the base of his rib, but still a nice hog that comes and goes with plenty of power. The young ladies, lightweight barrel here, or lightweight gilt here is one that we just really like the look. Like here's a stout feature, square-chested one that offers a tremendous amount of top-side shape and dimension, drops down to an extremely square and bold. Just for me, she's a little bit quicker built. She's a quicker, earlier maturing type of hog who is extremely bold-bladed, but that also makes her a bit coarser in her make. She's one that wants to get coarser in her joint work, maybe not quite as flexible, especially as time were to go on and she were to add a little bit more weight. I have to say that her joints would have to break down eventually as time goes on. Yes, she's still plenty mobile today, just kind of a growth concern for me. The young man here, the patriotic shirt, we really like this barrel. From a build standpoint, here's a stout-featured, up-headed, tall-shouldered type of a barrel that offers plenty of mass and dimension coming and going, all while still plenty flexible and pliable in a skeletal build. The young man's Duroc that came out of the last class, just a huge featured, big top, type of a hog. Just for me, one that I'd like to see be bolder and blown out in terms of his center cage. One that I'd like to see be square and bolder than pin set. And then the young man's broken belted hog. Here's one that we really like. He's just a good big market hog. He's stout featured. He's square chested. He's an up-headed type of a barrel that's still offers plenty of mass from any direction that you take a look at this one. When I begin to pick him apart, though, I would like to see him just hinge with more flex and levelness and length out of that hip and hind leg. But other than that, he's just a really nice, complete type of a market hog. That being said, I've made here. I'm going to go shake the hand of your grand, followed by your reserve.
Congratulations to all of our market hog exhibitors this morning. Earning the reserve champion banner out of that group is Cody Olson. Let's give him a round of applause. And congratulations to our grand champion market hog shown by Holden Salivar.
we need to get another picture of you?
Next up in our hog show this morning, we've got some pigs that just didn't quite make weight. We've got 6 exhibitors in our feeder class. Those exhibitors are Jody Albus, Caden Boyd, Carter Wynn, Reed Wynn, Britton Van Gorder, and Clayton Van Gorder.
What is this, feeder class?
Yes, ma'am.
As we come into our feeder class, there's definitely a couple of them that I wish we were kind of in the hog show. They would have fit in really nice in our grand ride, but sometimes that's just the way it goes, and the scale doesn't work in your favor some days. But to go off our feeder class, I'm going to use this young arrow here. Here's one that we really like, the stoutness of feature, that it extends about a front third of the scale. He still offers plenty of mass and dimension up high. He's really square-ribbed and really powerful as he drives away from us. I definitely think as he goes on, packs on a few more pounds, he'll be really competitive on down the road. He's got the skill, the build, and the basics to really be competitive. The young lady over here is going to go ahead and follow. Here's one that I really like right now in terms of stoutness of features, squareness coming and going, the mass and dimension that this one has from a three-quarter view and right as we get in behind him. Just maybe for me, he's a bit quicker maturing today. One that, fortunately, even at a lighter weight, still needs to be tightened up ever so slightly through his jowl and his, the seam of his hand, but still a really powerful, square-built type of a hog that fits in nicely. And then as we move on, the young man's spotted hipped barrel here, one that we like its length and extension that he has to offer. Here's one though that just needs to be bolder about its center cage and just more powerful coming and going. Young man's broken Celtic gilt over here, one that offers plenty of true shape and dimension, high. She offers a lot of length and dimension and a lot of extension out of her hip and hind leg. Here's one woman just needs to be bound up right there at the ground. She needs to be bolder about her rib. I'd also like to see her just come at me square truer from knee to ground as well. And then the man's bolted barrel here to my left, one that we appreciate again for the length and extension that this one offers. He's also full box caged, which I really appreciate. He's just a fuller featured school type of a hog that needs to be squared up around his lower joints. And then the young man's barrel over here on the fence, or gilt over here on the fence, is one that we like for her length and extension, her true shape and expression that she has to offer up high and from behind, but definitely needs to be stand up, one that I'd like to see just drive square and true as she comes and goes. So let's go put our hands together for our feeder class.
So for our feeder hogs this morning, we had 4 red ribbon pigs. Those belong to Caden Boyd, Carter Wynn, Reed Wynn, and Britton Van Gorder. Our reserve champion in the feeder hog class goes to Jody Alvis. And congratulations. And congratulations to our grand champion feeder hog, shown by Clayton Van Gorder. We've got 2 more classes of hogs before we start to bring out some beef. Those would be our breeding classes. Our first breeding class that we're going to take a look at are some gilts between 4 months and a year old. I believe we have 4 competitors in that class. Holden Salivar, Roger Butikofer, Samuel Butikofer, and Donna Butikofer.
This is just the gilt class. A cow one.
Let's put together for our breeding gift here. We'll just go sign them all individually, and then I'll go and select our grand and reserve. The young man out here in front of me, this dark-headed gilt, is one that just offers a tremendous amount of mass and dimension, all while still being long and extremely maternal in her muscling. Here's a square-built, extremely sound gilt that I really like her added extension and comfort and flexibility that she has in her lower joints. But just get picky on this one. She might be ever so slightly uneven in her spacing of her underline. But past that, she's still a thick-toed, stout-featured, up-headed type of a gilt that's got a tremendous amount of boldness about her center cage and mass and dimension all throughout without lacking any femininity. The young lady's red Duroc gilt over here is one that I love, the mass dimension of bone that this one has to offer. She's still plenty feminine and about her front 1/3 and still a tall shoulder type of a gilt. Just maybe for me, one that needs to be bolder. Just a notch more maternal in that center body shape for me. The young man's white gilt right here in front of me. Here's one that I do like the bone shape and dimension that this one has to offer. This one is a stouter skull type of a gilt that offers plenty of length and flexibility. Just maybe one that needs to be relaxed in her blade and bolder about her center cage to be deemed as more maternal in her type and kind. And then the young man's Burke-influenced gilt here is one that I like for thickness of toe, her width and dimension that she has to offer coming and going. But when it comes down to skeletal build, here's one that wants to taper to the base of rib. She's just more general in her rib shape and dimension, and one that needs to be fuller and truer over her top and as she comes and goes. Past that, I'd like to see her be relaxed in her spine and just a bit squarer there at the ground. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and shake the hand of your grand, followed by your reserve.
That's the breed I couldn't remember. I just can't remember that. I just can't remember what the name was. Just slipping my mouth.
So in our breeding gilt class, we had 2 red ribbons, Roger Butekoper and Samuel Butekoper. Our reserve champion award winner in that class was Donna Butekoper. And let's get a round of applause for our grand champion gilt, owned by Holden Salivar. Last but not least, in our hog show this morning, they're working on getting out. We have a couple of entries in the Penna 3 category. Those competitors are Holden Salivar and Lana Butekoper.
I'm trying, but there's an umbrella.
Let's put our hands together for finish projects out here.
Okay.
Definitely interesting breeds that we have with the Duroc and then the inspired colts here, but definitely a lot of quality between the two. One thing that I can appreciate about the York group is they are very true to the York breed of being long and maternal in their general makeup. Here's ones that offer a ton of flexibility and squareness coming and going without sacrificing any mass and dimension on either end. So that's just a really nice uniform group of gilts there. As for the Duroc group that we have here, they definitely hold those characteristics of being stout-featured and durable in their type and kind right there at the graph. They definitely offer a tremendous amount of mass and dimension up high and from behind. Just maybe for me, ones that aren't quite as full caged is what I'd like to see, but that's also something that kind of goes along with that. But still a really nice uniform group of gilts to come out here. So I really compliment you guys and commend you guys for kind of 3 projects here. I know there's not many, but definitely a lot of quality between these two. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and use your York group as your champion, and then your Duroc as your reserve.
Okay.
So in our final class on swine training, the 10 of 3 category, your reserve champion award winner is Lila Beauticulfer. And our grand champion in the class, once again, is Holton Salazar. All right. So for the second half of our doubleheader livestock show this morning, we're going to have our cattle. Just like we have with all of our other species, we're going to lead off with Showmanship, oldest to youngest, and move into our market, followed by our breeding classes. So that brings us to our senior steer Showmanship, or senior beef Showmanship. In that first class, we're going to have Alyssa Nordman, Gianna Boyd, Britton Van Gorder, and Tierra Witness.
I'm missing it. Maybe takes. You did a good job, Emma. You would have done really well today. Which is why I could tell when you were in the ring. That's why they didn't want you to show because they didn't want you to be confused. And hold and do the movements. Wow, there are not very many cows today. Yeah. I figured it was a toss-up between you and Heather. I know. You have to do something now. Be happy, please. Hey, Angela. Do you know where that clock is at that park in their house?
I don't know. Oh, ultrasound.
Oh. Why didn't theirs have it? Because they were short enough?
They might have been already like slick.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. That's a weird place. Isn't it? My grandparents always did it on the one. Jen always got it right in the side.
Yeah, you can do like right hip, left hip.
I don't know if I've ever seen them in the side like that though.
Yeah,
Not
right
that I'm a
side, left
cow. Is
side.
that your sucker?
Mine?
Hey, you guys, where'd you get the sucker? Oh, okay. Didn't even know. Is this market or showmanship?
Showmanship.
I was off the lollygagging, so I didn't hear what he was saying. Okay, let's have a seat, Pete.
much that you can do when you're on the head of that calf. So with that being said, I went ahead and gave each showman some pointers, pointed out what I really like about what they're doing out here in the ring. I went ahead and asked them a fairly loaded question, but I was pretty happy with the responses that I got. One thing, just the beef industry is a really hot topic in the news right now for lots and lots of reasons. So if you're in the beef project, I just highly recommend that you pay attention to those topics, kind of pick out the big issues that are going on, and be able to bring that back into a showmanship class, and be able to kind of know the differences. There's a lot of economics that go into beef, so being able to understand those basics and the discrepancies that's going on with producers and packers right now, as well as the Secretary of Agriculture. I mean, that's a lot of stuff going on. So being able to just hit those topics is really, really important, especially as seniors, because you guys are kind of next on the docket for continuing this beef industry. With that being said, I really do appreciate how a lot of these showmen are getting the front feet of their extremely square anytime they are to stop. A couple things that we can work on with the back legs. I mean, we want to have that off-show side leg offset when you're on the profile, but then squared up when you guys are holding side by side. So that's always something to just kind of work on, making sure that you can get them to walk into set is something really important. It just takes a little bit of extra time at home. Another thing I wanted to point out is the way that your calf is also extremely important. So being able to have that head up at all times, making sure that they don't relax their head or kind of throw you around is something that's really important in terms of being able to read structure in cattle. So with that being said, let's go put our hands together with these individuals, and I'll show you your grand followed by your reserve.
For our senior beef showmanship class this morning, receiving a blue ribbon was Alyssa Nordman. Receiving a blue ribbon with the final drive designation was Gianna Boyd. Our reserve champion senior beef showman this year goes to Britton Van Gorder. And congratulations to our grand champion beef showman, earning the opportunity to compete in round robin this afternoon, Tierra Witness. As we work on getting their pictures taken, our next group that we're going to have out Our final beef showmanship class will be our juniors. The class is a little bit bigger and will include Tally Berwick, Max Engelke, Lily Johnson, Haley Berwick, Caroline Christofferson, Haley Olson, and Cody Olson.
for our juniors here. They're all doing pretty well here, considering we have some that are being a little bit honored and not really wanting to play their part in the sport that we're doing out here. But other than that, we're doing a really good job of making sure we keep the ring organized, giving each other enough space, and really making an effort to get the camp set up properly, especially since we had that meeting earlier today. I think you're doing a nice job of listening and then trying to apply what I had said. One thing, though, that I do want to point out, especially at this stage of the game, it's really important that you guys start being able to learn how to break down your animal and be able to read those skeletons. So that helps you be in a feeding program, be in a breeding program, if that's something that you are targeting to do later on. And it also just helps you as showman out in the ring figure out where you need to be positioned and everything along those lines. So when I would ask you when I'm handling your calves, what am I feeling for? That's where I encourage you guys to work with a livestock judge or somebody who has done judging in the past to learn the importance of what we're actually feeling for. Because what we're feeling for right across the top is the thickness of loin, all the way across their top, seeing if they have a big, bold, squared up topside shape and muscling there. We're also feeling for finish all the way throughout that calf to be able to determine if they're market ready or not. So being able to break down those parts and apply them to your showmanship classes and your feeding programs as well is extremely important. And you guys are getting to that stage now where you can start understanding those concepts and how they relate to livestock development. But with that being said, I went ahead and gave you each some pointers there and told you what I liked about what you're doing. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and shake the hand of your grand, followed by your reserve.
So for our junior beef showmanship this morning, receiving a red ribbon was Ellie Berwick. Our blue ribbon exhibitors in that category were Lily Johnson, Haley Berwick, and Caroline Christofferson. Receiving a blue ribbon with a final drive designation was Max Engelke. Your reserve champion in the class goes to Kaylee Olson. And congratulations to our grand champion steer showman, Cody Olson. give them just a couple of minutes to work through getting their pictures taken. Some of those same steers are going to come right back out as we begin our market classes. Again, these are broken by weight. We'll have 2 market classes. Our first market beef class consists of Haley Burlick, Cody Olson, Lily Johnson, Alyssa Nordland, Tiara Witness, Haley Olson, and Caroline Christopherson.
Thanks. Are there any zip ties or something we can put on this? Somewhere? Maybe.
Over in the barn.
I'll go ask.
Just like blew out totally. Yeah.
Blowing out.
Kite here. No, that was great. Maybe, but I got 2 zip ties. I rolled it down a little bit so it zips snap.
That's probably fine. It's crooked, so it's not going to.
I think it'll be okay. Oh, there you go. Good idea. Now, I buy zip ties, and Miles thinks they're his. Uses them all up. Can I buy more? They just there.
I asked about
That makes me mad.
the final drive and the showmanship, and they said it's kind of more of like a third place because like the ones that had gotten reserve and grand had gotten reserve or grand in other species also. So it was like if they needed to find another person for round robin to like slide it down and figure out who's in round robin basically.
Okay.
Because I was like, why are you giving final drive when there's
Yeah.
just like a single class and you don't give, there is no, yeah, it'd be like different if there are a couple classes. But
Hey, don't do that. Everybody works hard to get these painted. Okay? No.
Ew.
Oh. Well, have fun with that.
That happened. I can't. It's stuck.
Here, you could use their straw from this. Probably not.
Probably won't reach there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. It has a.
Yeah, you just can use it.
Kylie. You could just leave them down there until you're ready to pick them up. See if we can get like a broad view here. Or look at the whole track. Sorry for the shakiness.
I still have an aptitude fine for almost 2 months. I'll probably be ready to order some probably the first or second. Maybe the it's not quite there yet. Okay, thank you.
let's put our hands together for our first class of market beef out here. We're going to go ahead and bring these two calves back for the grand drive here. The young lady here, here's a scout-featured white-chested one that easily handled the most shape and dimension up high and fine. And as we watch this track away, he's easily the squarest and truest within his skeleton. The young lady also going to come back. Here's a scout-featured type of a calf. I really appreciate the manner of handling here for that aspect. He still offers plenty of thickness up over his top, around behind him. He still plenty of natural thickness. Maybe that I'd like to see me thrown apart in his pins ever so slightly. I'd also like to see him track his square and true from hawk to ground as he wants to pull his hawk in ever so slightly. So he's still plenty functional enough once we set him into motion. The young lady's calf here is going to be good. Here's one that we really appreciate for his boldness of bid. He still offers plenty of natural mass and dimension up high and out of his hip for his type and kind. Just one today that I wish was just a notch mellower handling when I put my hands on him. One that I wish came out of a square, stouter pin set as we set him into motion. But when we take a look at him right there at the ground, here's one that tracks extremely clear and true within a skeleton. I just wish that we could add a few more pounds and make him just a bit softer handling, and he'd be coming back in the grand drive as well. Lady that's going to be fourth. Here's a calf. Maybe not the prettiest thing as we step off to the side. Here's one that I'd like to pick him up in his pin set. I'd like to see him be deeper and softer back into his flank and a little bit softer back into his forerib as he wants to taper right in there in his forerib as well. But for me, when I put my hands on him, those are the fairly three-dimensional loin. He's still big back, square top one right in there behind his shoulder. Just one that we'd like to fix from a skeletal standpoint. Pick him up in his pins, like I said, and make him just a bit softer back into his rear rib and flank. The young lady that's going to come next, I really like it's a feature that this one has to offer. He's a stout-formed type of a calf that offers plenty of length and extension. He's actually fairly correct out of his hip. Once again, we just would like to blow him apart and add a few more pounds, make him just a notch softer handling today. The young man that's going to come next, here's one that is the mellower handling of the two. Unfortunately, he just doesn't feel my hand is quite enough thickness right over into his loin. He gets a bit plainer and more general about his rib shape and dimension. And they step around behind him. He offers plenty natural thickness. He just kind of gets outpowered in this set. So, and then the young lady that's going to round out the class, here's a super stout, structured, extended type of a calf that's really big, really big pin. Just for me, it's not kind of bone work because here's one that gets coarser in his general joint work there right at the ground. And we also need to see him be bolder, ribbed, and softer back into his rear rib and flank just to make him a little bit more practical. And once again, let's go ahead and put our hands together for this. We'll go on.
So as we work on switching over to our next class, our red ribbon steers from the first group of market beef were shown by Caroline Christofferson and Alyssa Nordman. We had several blue ribbon steers in that class. Those belong to Kaylee Olson, Haley Berwick, and Cody Olson. And our two steers that are going to come back for the final drive were shown by Lily Johnson and Tierra Witness. Let's give them a round of applause. Additionally, at this point, I'd like to announce, I don't know if anybody noticed, we are blessed to have Miss Montana Jessica Chris with us today, helping us out, handing out ribbons. If anybody would like a picture with Miss Montana immediately following our breeding beef show, head into the hog barn and there will be a spot set up for that opportunity. I thank her for being here. As we move on to our heavier set of steers, we've got 4 in the next class. Those steers belong to Max Engelkey, Tally Berwick, Britton Van Gorder, and Gianna Boyd.
Let's put our hands together for our second class here. I'm going to go ahead and bring back these two steers on this end of the wing. The young man's track here is one that offers a tremendous amount of shape up high and from behind. He's a really stout. See, this may be one that's a little bit mature of his front third and a little bit coarser in his downward. That just kind of goes with that added stoutness. One thing I definitely would like to do is pick him up in his pit and see him go with a little bit more flexibility as we get him into motion. I'll go ahead and call him sound enough today, as he easily brings the most product to the table. And this lady that's going to also go ahead and come back, one that I like quite a bit more from a skeletal standpoint. Here's one that's softer and more comfortable in the bone work and dirt work right there at the ground, one that's more extended about his foot 1/3, and one that is a bit more refined about his shoulder as well. One that still is a big back, big hitch type of a calf. This may be one for me that needs for. I would like it to see him just a notch stouter right there in terms of his rear foot. And when I go to put my hands on him, he's more consistently covered, and I really do appreciate that about him. The young lady, actually here with the black calf, is going to go ahead and be next. Here's a scout-featured, softer handling type of a steer that still offers plenty of natural muscling and thickness all the way throughout. just maybe one for me that isn't quite as full-bodied as what I'd like to see, and one that I definitely like to be a bit scattered. I step in behind him. And then the young man that's going to round up the class today, he's a stout-featured, big hip type of a cat. The one that I just wish was a little bit leatherer out of his hips, one that I wish was softer back into his flanks. I'd also like to see him be just a notch mellower handling, as he's a bit inconsistent in terms of his cover over his ribs. But still a really nice set of cats, so let's go ahead and give these guys a round of applause.
So for our heavier set of market steers today, receiving a red ribbon was Max Engelke. Sally Berwick earned a blue ribbon for her steer, and our two callback steers out of that class belong to Britton Van Gorder and Gianna Boyd. Let's give them a round of applause. Britton and Gianna will be joined momentarily by our two callbacks from the first class, Tierra Witness and Lily Johnson.
All right, let's put our hands together for our grand drive out here. As we take a look at these calves out here, this yellow steer is one that, like I said earlier, he's a scout featured square made type of a calf. It's just big back, big hips, and still plenty sound once we get him into motion. I would like to see him just have a notch more flex back into out of his hip and then back down into that hop. He's a little bit longer toed, and I'd just like to see him be relaxed in that rear joint work. But other than that, he's still plenty sound. The young lady that also came out of that first class, he was just a big topped type of a steer that's really mellow handling. He's really bold bodied. He's just a good practical type of a calf. One that maybe just gets out powered just a notch once we get him out here, but he's still practical in his own right. The young man that comes out of our last class, he was just a super heavy muscle, big top, big hips type of a steer. I appreciate all of those aspects about him, but along with that type comes some additional coarseness. He's a bit coarser to his front 1/3 than what I'd like to see. I'd like to relax him down into his lower joint work and just see him go a little bit of stability out of that hawk. And then the other young lady that comes out of our last class is a big, soggy body type of a calf. Still offers plenty of natural thickness around. He's relatively covered. My concern is he might be backing up just a little extra. Here's one that I'd like to relax him in his front lift. Pick him up and go some added flexibility out of those rear two. But other than that, he's still plenty practical, plenty stout. One that just offers a lot of good altogether. With that being said, I'll go ahead and take the hand of your grand, followed by your reserve.
Great job to all of our market beef exhibitors today. The reserve champion in the steer show for 2020. Congratulations to Britton Van Gorder. And let's get a round of applause for our grand champion market beef this year, shown by Tierra Witness. We have one more class left to go in our show this morning. Before we bring out our breeding beef project, I do want to remind everybody tonight at 5 o'clock, all of our showmanship champions from this morning, from yesterday, as well as from our horse show on Tuesday, will have the opportunity to compete against each other, showing a cross species in our round robin. So if you'd like to see that and find out who our top overall show people are, be here at 5 o'clock, and that will be followed up by our livestock auction this evening at 6. We are encouraging pre-registration for the livestock auction. So if you saw some animals today that look like they'd look even better in your freezer, please make sure you come back before 6 tonight. As I mentioned, we do have one more beef class today. We have a breeding heifer we're going to see here in just a moment, and that heifer belongs to Miss Kaylee Olson.
Is round robin actually at 5 or is it still 4:30?
It's 4:30.
On the schedule it says 4:30.
I'm pretty sure it's 4:30, but
Jeff keeps telling me 5. Because he came up to the fence and asked me if I was going to be there for that, and I was like, well, yeah. And he said 5, and I was like, 4:30. Because there's no way you can get it done before the 6.
I really thought it was 4:30.
Yeah, on the schedule on the website, on the banners, it says 4:30. Do you want me to go tell him it says 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, let's put together for our only heifer here. This is a real nice, feminine, refined type. I really appreciate that about her. When we put motion, she's extremely flexible. On the bull end, she's got a lot of flex in her spine. She's still able to track extremely square with a lot of flexibility. And when we step in right in behind her, she's still plenty of natural mass and dimension. She's still rules up. Obviously, as time goes on, she'll be able to be a little softer brushing, but other than that, this is just a really nice, complete heifer. So let's go ahead and put our hands together for this young lady.
So congratulations. Let's get a big round of applause for our grand champion in the breeding beef show, Kaylee Olson. Once again, we hope to see everybody back this evening for our round robin and our auction. And I'd also like if we could get a great big round of applause for our judge, Bobby, for doing a great job for us this year. We really appreciate it.